with me tonight, and also for changing times. Normally we are scheduled for 5:30 to 6 or 5:30 to 6:30, but because I'm doing a class at 6:30, I'm not doing it, I'm taking it on meditation. I had to change the time, and it's only for 5 weeks, so this week will be week 3, so we have 2 more weeks to go, and then we'll be back to our regular schedule. So I hope this doesn't inconvenience anyone, and if it does, that's what the benefit is of the YouTube videos, right? You can plug in anytime you choose. Alrighty, so we'd like to be sure that you consult your medical practitioner, especially if you have any medical concerns, medical conditions, or you're just starting an exercise program, and included with that is yoga. If you're just starting out in yoga, be sure to check with your medical practitioner. And this is, of course, especially important if you're pregnant, if you're nursing, if you're taking any drugs, prescription and non-prescription. And in addition, if you have any pre-conditions, medical conditions that maybe you're concerned about or may affect your ability to do some movements, just check in with the medical practitioner that you deal with. So this evening, what we're going to focus on is different levels of flexibility for the various postures. And I decided that sometimes it's excellent to just review maybe what you possibly have viewed on another video. And the levels of flexibility are very important. And the reason why I consider them so important is one of the objectives, or I should say objections, that so many people hesitate my age, or people that are nearing the stages of their life where they're noticing physical, mental changes occurring in their body because time is passing on. It's very important that we realize that yoga is for everybody. The important thing is that you develop an awareness on your body and your mind and your breath. And you never go beyond a certain time in the stretch. You know, as soon as you have reached that edge where you can't go any farther, you stop. But then there's a way to increase your range of motion through the breath. So on every exhalation, and we'll demonstrate that when I go into the pranayama today, I'll demonstrate how this is done. It's a wonderful technique and it works. And of course, the other thing is the importance to practice every day, because as soon as we stop stretching 1 day or 2 days, whatever, we'll see the differences in our physical body. Okay, so we are going to be aware this evening of our wellness, our functionability in each posture, and the different ranges that we have, and also our props. The props we have to help us out are our blocks, and I'm sure most of you have your blocks ready, and if not, whatever else you have in the house, if you need it to leverage your feet, if they're not especially touching on the floor, and if you're on a chair that's a little too high, you're going to need your blocks. In addition, we have our straps. This is one type of fitted, or I should say, it's called the H heavy, and it's together in one, so you get that resistance. Some people prefer to use a strap that is just one long continuous strap. And then we have, of course, for our feet, or wherever else we want to use this, to work the fascia in our bodies, in our feet, in our arms, and in our hands. So we're going to start this evening with our usual, which is sitting mountain. So sitting mountain is our foundational pose. Now with the sitting mountain, most important is we want our feet flat on the floor. We're going to work from the bottom up. And sitting mountain is again a posture or asana that we can always come back to, because what it does is makes us very aware of our alignment. And we want to lengthen our spines. Lengthen. And by doing sitting mountain, we become aware of the lengthening, and we travel with that concept throughout our practice. So let's get those feet first firmly on the ground. Then I'm going to ask you to feel the fatty part, if you have any fat under your toes and also on your heels. And we want to press those into the floor. Now, some people do not have any fat on their feet. I have a lady friend who has no fat. She's around 82 years of age, and she's having a problem walking because the bottom of her feet have no cushion. So we know the nerves end in the bottom of the feet. So we want to work the feet, and we want to keep that area of our physical bodies healthy. And we can do this by moving and exercising the feet, the toes, the ankles, etc. So feet flat on the floor, and this is a place you may need your block, and if you do, you could place one on one foot and one on the other. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our fists and we're going to touch them together. So let's hold the arms out, fists touching each other. Take those fists and bring them right between the thighs. Walk them up. And there we are. We are sitting in a nice posture where everything is aligned. Our hips, our pelvis, perfectly sitting in the, I call it, the pelvic is like a triangle. We want the hip bones to just sit very firmly. And then we want to move up. We're going to take our zipper, so take our little finger here on the right and zip up. This also brings us to the awareness in our brain to lengthen our body, to lengthen that spine. Now we're going to move from there to the chin, and the chin is to be parallel with the ground beneath you. And we always talk about the drishti, or that spot. So if I look straight ahead, I do not want to go past where my wall meets the ceiling, because we don't want to hyperextend our necks. Or we could take the drishti and we could put it, our focus on our nose, or we can look right on the floor in front of us, maybe 24 inches away. Whichever is your choice, please do it. Try to stay consistent unless you want to experiment with the other different types of forms to move into the drishti or your spot check. Next, we're going to take the shoulders and we're going to bring them forward up to the ears and open the chest. Allow the breath to move back and forth, in and out. And just connect with your breath for a moment. Just be aware of now your sits bones on your chair. So I'm going to take my right hand and lift up my right cheek, and then my left and lift up my left cheek, and I'm going to kind of waddle back and forth until I can feel those sits bones and my buttocks is going to sink into that chair. Now hopefully you can feel the sits bones, but if you can't, if you're not aware of them or not used to feeling them, just take your fingers and press into the fleshy part of the buttocks and feel those two little bony areas. And then we're going to walk the buttocks closer to the edge of the chair, always engaging and looking at safety. And let's move here to our breath. We're going to go into breath awareness. And remember that By doing the levels of flexibility and feeling comfortable in your own skin, we have the ownership of the self. You're unique. Wherever you're starting out in your practice is where you are. Wherever your body is, that's where you are. All of us are unique bodies and different. For example, if we take our visual eye and we split it right down the middle of our body, and then across the center where our buttocks is sitting on the chair, we have the lower part and we have the upper. With the sitting mountain, the lower part of the body we want to engage. We want to engage those muscles to make them strong because we want to support our bones. Again, as we move through the years, okay, the bone health is very important. Also learning how to fall, the functionability. We learn how to fall. If we do fall, for some reason, hopefully we won't fracture or break anything. And that can be done. Alrighty. So, let's move on into our superpower, which is our breath. And I'm going to invite you simply to breathe. Just notice your breath. And to do this, you can close your eyes. Connect with your breath, and you're going to inhale through the nose. And then exhale out through the nose. Don't worry about counting right now. Just breathe. Inhale through the nose. And exhale out through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Now the belly expands out, and as you exhale through the nose, the belly contracts. Again, inhale, belly expands, and exhale, belly contracts. Let's do that 6 more times. Inhale, belly expanding. Exhale, belly contracting. Now I'll let you go at your own pace and complete 5 more full breaths for a total of 6. As you inhale, though, the belly expands out, and as you exhale, belly contracts. Now, when you're complete, just notice, be aware of how you're feeling. Plug in to any internal sensations you may feel. I'm relaxed. When you noticed your breath, was it smooth? Was it full? Was it long? And as we continue to practice the breathing, we want to increase the length of our breath, our inhalation and exhalation, so we have a full expansion. And in this way, we have less breaths per minute. And as you probably have figured this out, the less breaths you have, the more efficient. And the slower the breaths, the more efficient is the breath because it's full. If you had shallow breathing, which I don't believe anyone here does, unless you have, for example, well, some people are really bothered by the humidity and allergies. I hope we're past the allergy season, but they may be breathing up onto the chest breath, okay? So what we want to do is strengthen our lungs, strengthen the alveola in the lungs, so the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen becomes more efficient. Okay, now I'm going to introduce you to a breath which is called Bhastrika. And this is a breath that I usually use before I decide to go into quiet meditation or just to kind of put myself in a relaxing state. Because the Bhastrika is a powerful breath, and I'm going to walk you through it. And we'll start out, if you'd like to join me, with 5, and then we'll move into 10. And for this evening, those of you that are used to the Bhastrika will go to 20. Okay, so the Bhastrika pranayama, we usually keep our hands or our arms in a golden post. So it could be like this. And then I'm going to inhale and push the arms up, and exhale through the nose, bring the arms down. So I'm always using my nose, inhaling and exhaling. So it's okay, so let's begin. Now, if you begin to feel dizzy at all, just stop. Of course, if you have high blood pressure, you don't want to practice this energetic breath or Bhastrika. Okay, it does clear the mind, though, if you can do it, and gets us ready for meditation. So let's begin. I'll count to 5. And relax. Now take a scan of how you feel. Just close your eyes. Your body may feel warm. It is a heating breath. Let's take a full breath here. And prepare for the next set, which will be for 10. But again, be very aware of yourself, how you're feeling. And now let's begin. Gold post. And now I'll count to 10. Relax. Close your eyes. Notice any sensations. How do you feel? Now, if you'd like to join me, this time we're going to do 20. If not, you could just relax and just breathe normally and naturally. And let's begin. Close the eyes and relax. Feel the prana or the energy moving through the body. Lengthen the spine, so we're going to inhale, stretch up, stretch the arms up if you can. And slowly exhale, very slowly as you can, drop the arms to the sides. Now we're synchronizing breath with movement. Inhale. And slowly exhale. Now we can do levels of flexibility here. You maybe can only move the arms this far. It's perfect. Inhale. And then exhale. Inhale, level 1, and then exhale. Level 2 is a little farther up, maybe to shoulder height. And then exhale, take the palms, bring them down on the exhalation. Inhale, level 2, and then turn to avoid any problems with the rotary cuff, and then exhale down. We'll do one more inhale, stretch up, level 2, and exhale down. Now your body may be, I'm ready to go into level 3, I'm used to this. Well, inhale, stretch up, and then exhale, coming down, nice slow movement, synchronizing. Breath, inhale, with movement, exhale. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, wherever you're at, and exhale. One more inhale, and exhale. Now we're going to start with our warm-ups, but tonight I'm going to start, since we just did that breath, stretching the arms with the breath. Nice shoulder rolls. So when we become in tuned or are in tune with our body naturally tells us what we need next. So follow the wisdom of your body, and we all have it. Have to trust ourselves. Which brings me to our intention. And our intention this evening will be, we will trust ourselves. And let's say 3 times, either out loud or you could quietly say it or think it, whatever. I trust myself. I trust myself. I trust myself. And now let's relax, bringing the feet back down to the floor. And now we're going to move back down to the lower part of the body. And we're going to start with the toes. So I'm going to invite you to bring those feet again, fist width apart, by putting the fists in between both legs. And now we're going to stretch up the heels from the back and then down, and stretch the front of the toes up. Then down, stretch up, and try to separate the toes while you're stretching. Now I have those toe inserts, so it separates my toes. And in the beginning, I could only leave them on for about 15 minutes, but then you slowly work yourself up. And it's interesting because when I remove them, my toes look, wow, like flat on the mat with my toes separated. Now I had bunion and toe surgery on the right foot, so my toe has never been the same. It kind of pushes in, and my balance isn't as keen as it was before I had the surgery. So if you've had any foot surgeries, or you find that your feet are very tight and not flexible, it's very important to stretch them out. You can stretch them out before you get out of bed, or right when you get out of bed, and then maybe again during the day, and again at night, because it really feels good. Not only with the toes, we want to do that with the hands. So I'm going to invite you now that we can connect the feet with the hands, and let's stretch, stretch, stretch. Open, close. Remember again the functional ability as we walk through life, how important it is that we keep our fingers and hands lubricated and move. Okay, and then we shake them out because we use them for so many different things. You know, we automatically, as we age, sometimes, well, most of us, including myself, we lose strength in the wrists and the hands, etc. So we have to keep this in mind, and as a result of it, work it through. Okay, next we're gonna kind of slither back on your chair, keeping though, again, the sitting mountain pose. So we want to lengthen our spine, and now we're going to lift the right foot, and I'm going to do ankle moves, strengthening those ankles, keeping them flexible, and then rotate the opposite. And then the other side. These are the warm-ups that we start with the feet. and then reverse. Next, we're going to make circles with the buttocks. So we're going to come around, and if you can hold on to the front of the chair like I'm doing. I would really call this level 1. Now, some people prefer to hold on to the middle of the chair, and some prefer to have a stretch in the upper body as they rotate. And then let's reverse. So again, you find your level of comfort and flexibility. And I will follow and trust myself. I will trust myself. Now I'm following my intuition right now, and guess what? I need to grab some water. A little dehydrating today. It did get very warm this afternoon. Alrighty. So, in continuum, we did our breath. Now we're doing our warm-ups. We did this part. We did the shoulders in the beginning. And now we're going to move our awareness to our neck. So what we're going to do now is just lower slightly the chin to the chest. And then slightly up. Look at that drishti, where the wall meets the ceiling in front of you. Let's do this 3 times, just to get some movement in the neck. Beautiful. Now, we're going to take the right hand, and I'm going to place it on the side, my hand on the left side of the head, and I'm going to just very gently drop my right ear to my shoulder. Again, no ouches, just go as far as you can. And breathe. Nice full breath. And then slowly inhale. Remove the right hand, exhale, and then come back up. And now we're going to do the opposite side. Remember, yoga means union. So we want to unionize or equalize the left and the right side of the body as much as we can. And nice, gentle, little support by stretching the left ear to the left shoulder. And then back up. Now we're going to move to the face, and we're going to say A, E, I, O, U, the vowels, and we're going to accentuate them to get all the muscles in the face moving. Ready? Or I should say, yeah, movement or exercise. Stretching them out. A, E, I, O, U. Let's do it 2 more times. And if you'd like to verbally do it, you're more than welcome to join me. A, E, I, O, U. And one more time. A, E, I, O, U. All righty. Nice. Now we're going to move into our eyes. And I'm going to make circles with the eyes. Very important, keeping the eyes lubricated and stretched. Then close the eyes, place the palms over the eyes and just relax them. Removing the hands, let's rotate to the opposite side, the eyes. Beautiful. Tired eye syndrome, take the palms, close the eyelids shut, and place them gently over the eyes so there's only darkness. And relax. Now for our asanas this evening, we're going to start with the spinal twist, okay? And we'll do levels of flexibility for the spinal twist. Spinal twist, we're simply going to inhale, and then I'm going to take my right hand and place it gently on my left leg, my left hand on the side of the chair, and just come and look as far as I can over to my left shoulder. This would be level 1. And breathe. Now you may be at level 2, so maybe you could come a little bit farther, placing the hand in the middle of the chair. And if you'd like, you could even take that right hand and play with it. Come a little bit farther so you feel that spinal twist. Again, keep the spine lengthened. Then again, you may be on level 3, so you can take that left hand, place it on the back of the chair, and maybe even take that right and place it on the side of the hip, or the leg, on the left leg. And breathe. Breathe fully. Feel the opening of the rib cage on the left side. And breathe fully. 3 full breaths. Now let's do another one. 3, inhale, and slowly come around to the other side. Let's do level 1. Place the left hand on the right leg and relax the right. It's more like support. And you may be on level 2. Or you may come all the way, if you'd like, to level 3. Stretching all the way back. Either arm is fine. You're still going to feel that beautiful stretch, but you want to lengthen the spine. So if you find yourself, if you're aware that you're hunching over, then you know that maybe you need to only use the one hand, or maybe you need to just realign your body. We know when we're hunching over, we feel it. And as we become more and more of our body in space, we begin to become very, very aware of where we're at and where our bodies are at and what we feel. That's one of the most beautiful benefits I find, that the gifts of yoga. And as we practice over the years and we synchronize the breath with the movement and all the other parts of what yoga is all about, union, we become more and more in tune with ourselves, and then slowly come around. Okay, so now we're going to move into the cat-cow, and we'll do the same thing with the levels, okay? For the cat-cow, you know how this is beautiful for the flexibility of the spine. So if we're on level 1, we're simply going to inhale. We can put the arm or the hands up if we'd like and come forward in our chair. And then we're going to move back and then forward, using the breath, synchronizing the breath with the movement. Now you may find that you're at level 2. So you may want to engage those arms a little bit farther, maybe even all the way up. So your upper body may be at level 2, and your lower body may be at level 3. So maybe you could come all the way back and then forward. Cat-cow. So we're moving the spine, trying to get it more flexible. My upper spine can be a little bit rigid, so I have to take notice of that and try to continue to focus on that area to work it and have it engage in the movements. So we look at the areas that maybe in our own physical body may not be as strong, or the alignment may be not the best alignment for what we're trying to achieve, you know, more and more wellness, but we can work with what we have, okay? And we can always strengthen and lengthen. That's the key, strengthen and lengthen. So that's the cat-cow. And now let's move into the forward fold. Again, it's level of flexibility. So forward fold, we're going to inhale and exhale, come forward. This may be as far as you're going to go. Level 1. But then again, you may be at level 2, so you maybe can even raise your arms up and just fall down into forward fold, sliding the fingers halfway down the front of the shins. But then again, you may be at level 3. So this, we're going to inhale, we're going to stretch and come all the way down to the floor. Our fingers touching the floor. And breathe. And then slowly come back up, sliding the arms up. Now I'd like to do some opening of the hips before we close for this evening. So I'm going to ask you again the levels of flexibility. You may have very tight hips. Some people do. So if your hips are tight, you just want to try to stretch a little bit farther, synchronizing the breath with the movement each time that you practice this. So you may be in a V, which would be the figure 4 in a V, and then you're going to come up on your toes, and this would be the first one. So figure 4, you can feel your hips, the bones right there. Now you may be at level 2, where you're going to separate your legs, moving the right leg to the right. So now you have the shape of an L. But this time you're going to take that right foot and bring it a little bit farther on top of the, if you can, on top of the left leg. So now you could feel the opening of this left hip. This increases the synovial fluid, which helps with the rotation of the hips and the lubrication. And breathe. Now you may be at level 3, where you can move that all the way up. Come again forward on the chair. Actually, you don't need to turn sideways with the right leg. Just stay forward is just fine. You're getting all the benefits. And breathe. Come, remember sitting mountain, lengthen the spine. 3 full breaths. Beautiful. Slowly lower that right leg. And now what we did to the right, we're going to do to the left. So start with your L shape. And you want to take that foot and bring it kind of on your tippy toes. Feel the lubrication of the left hip. But then again, you may be at level 2. So bring that left foot closer to the side of the right leg. And you may be able to bring it, you may even hold it with support, okay? But no compromising on the spine. Keep that spine lengthened. Nice and gentle, breathe. Then again, you may be on level 3. You're going to take that foot and bring it way up, and you're going to feel the beautiful opening of the hip. And breathe. Now, while you're doing this, you could even massage the feet. Feel all those nerve endings in the feet. And breathe. Hip opener. And then slowly bring that down. Now another hip opener that you could practice anytime is the feet stay flat on the floor, and you may want to walk the feet out, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. This is also good for the brain because you're synchronizing the left and the right side of the brain. There we go. I like to use my fingers and my hands while I do this, so I get that extra benefits of movement. Alrighty. Now, let's come back. Now, I invite you, you can sit back in the chair if you'd like. Just don't slope though, right? No slumping. We want to be sure that the shoulders are back, the chest is open, and we're receptive to our breath. And then I'm going to invite you just to close your eyes. Come back to our intention. I trust myself. I trust myself. I trust myself. 3 full breaths. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. Look around wherever you are, whether you're outside or inside. Feel your body in the area around the room. And thank you for joining me this evening. And I look forward to seeing you next week, next Wednesday, 5 o'clock for Chair Yoga with Anne. Practice, practice. Have a great evening. Good night, everyone.